Hi, and welcome into my garage. My name is Rob, and I do a comms channel, but I bet you're watching this video because you don't care that much about comms. You just want to use your KP panel. Well, great. I'm going to keep this on a user level. So everything in this video is going to be designed for you as you are trying to get the most or just the basics out of your KP32 or your KP12. We're going to start at the very basics. Most people don't know this. If you watch this video, you will know more about your KP panel than most people in the truck. KP32, almost or right around 32 buttons up in here. KP12, right around 12 buttons up in here, up in here. All right, so guys, I'm going to start at the beginning and power on this KP panel, this 12. Um, Look at this. It's come up with stars. Stars in every window. All right. This is a little pro tip. This intercom panel is not communicating with the intercom frame. That's what these stars mean. Now, I'm going to plug it in here real quick and watch those stars turn to what I call bars. All right. Even if this button wasn't in here, you could tell that this KP panel is connected to the frame because of all the dashes or the bars. So it's very important to be able to tell your engineer, I don't think my KP panel is even connected to the frame. I've got stars in the windows. He will be impressed. All right, so you may walk up to your KP panel and it's nothing but dashes. Well, that is fine and connected, or it may have keys programmed into it. I've got a little bit of a lab set up here, and so I'm going to try and very quickly get you through a lot of different scenarios in what is common in trucks. This is your intercom headset. You're going to be using an intercom headset for most seats in the truck. It's got an XLR connector, and it's going to go into this headset connector or this headset connector. All right. So why is he telling me this? The alternative would be a gooseneck microphone, and it's going to plug into this connector or this connector. Why is he telling me this? I always use a headset because of the most common mistake in intercom users. If I take this headset and I plug this into this freshly booted KP panel and I start trying to talk, I tell you what, nobody's going to hear you. You know why? Because of this red light right here. Oops, that was confusing up there. This red light right here, you might not be able to see this on the video, but when you're in front of your panel, you'll see this says speaker. And it is trying to use the gooseneck microphone and the speaker by default. You don't want to do that. You want to use a headset. All right. I'm going to pop this button in right here, and it's going to move to headset. I'm going to do the same thing on this one. This is headset selected right here, and I'm going to pop this button, and now this intercom KP panel is ready to use the headset. Until this point, you are going to do no talking. All right, so when these things wake up, a lot of times they'll wake up with no volume here and no volume here. This is the second most common mistake when using intercom KP panels. This has a little gas meter. I'm going to turn this knob up and the volume meter goes up. I'm also going to turn this one up and the volume meter goes up. My headset isn't working. Most commonly solved by turn that volume up. All right. So there's your two pro tips. Headset selector, boom, boom, and then volume up. All right, here is a freebie for you guys. This microphone has a mute option. I can pop up on this headset connect or this headset selector button, and you see mute on that red panel there. It's also blinking mute here. Very common will people be over here talking and listening on cams. They'll take their little headset and they'll throw it right down on the deck. And everybody on cameras, which is most people in the truck, is really mad. So best practices, use that headset mute button. It can also keep your private conversations private. Although I'm talking on cams right here, I might be talking on a bunch of stuff on this KP panel exactly how I wanted to, and it's all been stopped by using that mute button. Same thing on the KP12. It doesn't really have a mute button per se, but you can take that same selector switch and go to headset or from headset down to speaker, and you are not talking to the truck anymore. Very good practice there. Okay, so now we know how to keep from being heard and how to get our headset to be the source that we're talking from. Now we're going to move along to talking, listening, and latching. All right, the magic of an RTS comm system and some other makers out there is that I can choose who I want to talk to by pushing down on this button, or I can choose who I want to listen to by going up on this button right here. All right, same thing here. I can talk. Oops, the light's on the wrong side of the button. Or I can listen by listening or lifting the key. All right. So if I want to talk to somebody, oh, stop blinking. You're confusing people. If I want to talk to somebody, I can press down. If I want to listen to somebody when they are talking, I can lift up. Now, I can get into different intercom theory later on, but that's not what we're going into right now. I'm lifting up to listen to the tape operator here. Anytime that tape operator talks, this person will hear it because they are choosing to listen. All right. So let's say this KP panel isn't the producer's panel. This is the director's panel for this example right here. It would be very common for the director to want to talk on cams and listen on cams. This button is crafted very well for a director. Okay, what's so special about that, Rob? Well, the privilege of latching on the camera's channel should be a uncommon privilege. Not most people in the truck should not be able to latch on cameras. So I'm going to show you a button that might be in somebody else's panel. This button might be in, I don't know, a tape operator's panel. They need to be able to talk to cameras. Hey, could you stay on 32 for a bit? I forgot to press record or whatever. What AVS is always recording. I know. But anyways, but they shouldn't be able to stay. This button won't latch. Oh, these are smart buttons. Sorry, we'll go back to this one. Smart button. If I want to talk momentarily and I hold this button, it won't stay lit. If I pop this button and want to stay talking on this channel, it stays lit. Same thing for listen. If I pop it, it'll stay latched. If I pop it or if I push it if I push it, it will stay. It won't stay lit when I let it go. It's a smart button. All right, so this button is actually working exactly as prescribed. Someone in the truck has limited your ability to latch on this channel, and it's probably for a good reason. Let's say this is a tape operator. They want to be able to hear cameras, but they shouldn't be able to latch on cameras. They have the ability to talk, but they can't latch. All right? You can ask somebody to remove this latching disable. They may or may not do it for you. All right, the next button type here, do you see how this is written in lowercase letters? Cams is written in lowercase letters. Well, this one has no ability to talk on cameras, but you can still listen. So, latching, non-latching, and listen only. All right, these are three functioning buttons that someone has done they've restricted you in some way. Okay, then the next thing I want to talk about is listen volumes. Let's say you're listening to a number of things in this panel, but one thing is way louder than it should be. I want to show you how to adjust your individual listen volumes. I'm going to adjust the listen volume here for tape. I'm going to lift on this button, and at the same time, I'm going to roll the volume knob. So that number going down, -7. This person's volume has been decreased by 8 dB, 9 dB. I can also raise it. So that's how you do a volume adjustment on a KP32 for an individual destination. Same thing here on the KP12, lift on producer, and then roll the volume, and that volume goes up and down. All right, and now one more thing I want to do is show you the call waiting window. You may not have everybody in your panel. Someone may talk to you. Oh, so this is what a tally looks like. If the producer, or sorry, this is the tapes panel. I'm going to talk to the producer. I'm going to press producer. Look at this key KP or the button blink. All right. You can tell who's talking to you by what button is blinking. And then you can talk back to them and their button blinks back. All right. So you can tell, hey, you don't have to say who's calling. You could probably look at your KP panel and learn who's calling because it stays blinking. Now, I've got another KP down here off camera that I'm going to key the producer panel on. This EIC button is not in this KP. All right, this is the EIC calling the producer. Do you see this right here? This is called the call waiting window, and the EIC is popping up in here. And I can talk back to the EIC, and he can talk back, and they can have a conversation while there is no EIC button anywhere in this panel. Now, when you're done with that EIC call, I would say lift up, and it will clear. All right. And I'm going to do the same thing, EIC to tape. EIC keying here, and you can see that the EIC comes up in this window. Now, as a space-saving measure, to talk back to the EIC on a KP12, you're going to push in on the encoder knob. You're going to push in on that knob to talk back to the EIC. All right? So the last thing that I want to show you is how to find your port number. This may be required when asking for help from the comms engineer, the A1, or the truck engineer. What KP are you on? Here is how you win favor with that engineer. You say, I'm on port 9. I know that because here's a pro tip. Clear 081 right there, port 9. N009. So that you may be asked, and it's also named the producer there. You may be asked to provide your port number when filling out a pick sheet or something like that. So I'll do it again. Clear 081. And there it is. How do you do it on a KP12? This menu knob, you're going to roll. Well, now I'm in call waiting. I'm going to double click out of that and go to display. Pop it, and then go back to port number. And there it is, port 10. All right, that is 12 minutes of basics on a KP panel on an RTS intercom frame. If you guys ever need help with intercom stuff, here's my number. Give me a call. I'd love to help you out with a project or come comms engineer your show. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon.